Hello, this is John from TC Math Academy, and in this particular video, we're going to solve this compound linear inequality. So that's the problem, and you can see here we have 12 is greater than or equal to 6 minus 3x, and that is greater than or equal to -3. Now, if you're taking any sort of algebra course, you definitely will learn this. Maybe you've already learned this. Now, if you know how to solve this, go ahead and solve this and also graph the solution to this inequality. Okay. Now, what ends up happening is a lot of students say, oh, yes, I know how to do this, and they kind of rush through the problem, and they either forget this step or they didn't know to actually take this step. And if you don't take this particular step, of course, your problem is going to be incorrect. Okay, so if you know how to do this, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. Of course, you can't put your graph into the comment section, but you should do it as well. I'm going to show you the correct answer here in just 1 second. Then I'm going to walk you through the solution to this problem, and we're going to review this critical step that a lot of students tend to forget. Also, if you need math help with the course you're taking, test prep, or homeschooling, make sure to check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video helps you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the solution to this problem, and here you go. Okay, so again, this would be the solution written as an inequality. So we have x is greater than or equal to -2 at the same time less than or equal to 3. And to graph this inequality, effectively you would have something like this. You would have a number line. You would have 3 right here. We have -2 right here, and a line connecting these two closed circles. So these would be circles and it would be filled in. So what this solution is saying is the solution to this inequality is all numbers x greater than or equal to -2, however, at the same time, less than or equal to 3. So it's all these numbers between -2 and 3 to include 2 and 3. Okay, that's why we kind of fill in these circles. If your inequality was just less than and less than right here, these would be open circles. So again, these are things hopefully you know how to do. Now, if you are, really not, up to speed on basic linear inequalities, then this particular video might be, yeah, I don't want to say advanced for you, but you may need to do some more basic review. So let me give you a couple quick suggestions. I have additional videos on my YouTube channel on linear inequalities and compound inequalities, but if you want my full instruction, I would recommend you check out like my Algebra 1 course. I'll leave a link to all that in the description as well. But if you got this right, that means that you knew to take this particular step. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and celebrate by giving you a nice little happy face, an A plus, a 100%, and multiple stars, so you can tell your friends and family that you are indeed an expert in solving compound linear inequalities. They really don't, they won't know what that means, but it just sounds so impressive. They'll be like, man, that is like, you must be a genius. Matter of fact, I'm going to pay for your dinner tonight when we go out. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this problem. And first of all, so, if you can't solve a basic inequality like this, let's say 3x is less than 12, then, if you don't know what to do here, you're certainly not going to know what to do right here, right? So this is what we call a linear inequality, just a basic linear inequality. This is a compound inequality because we have two inequality symbols, okay? So this is, again, a pretty big topic to review. So I'm only talking about this particular problem, but, I'm probably not going to be able to, go over and give you a full, complete instruction on all, everything you need to know about inequalities, right? So I'm just going to do a quick review here. So the main idea to solve this inequality is effectively we want to kind of solve for x. Okay, now x is this variable and it's in the middle, okay, of these two inequality symbols right here, right? So you want to kind of think to yourself, well, if I had to solve for x, like if x right here, let's say we have -3x is equal to 10 or something, you have to do the basic algebra steps to solve this particular solve for this particular variable, right? So we'll make it more interesting, like a two-step equation, something like this, right? So we have to, oh, okay, I know how to solve this. But what you're going to be doing is taking simultaneous steps on both sides of the inequality as you're solving for that variable. Now I'm saying solving for that variable, really not solving for the variable, but you're taking the same steps as if you were solving an equation. Okay, that's why it's critical that you know how to solve linear equations, one-step, two-step, multi-step linear equations before you tackle a linear inequality. So let's go and take a look at the steps right now. So the first thing we want to do is this. Okay, we have 6 minus 3x. That's in the middle. I want to get x by itself, just surrounded by these inequality symbols. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of this 6. So I'm going to subtract 6 from here, but I need to subtract 6 from both sides of the inequality. Okay, it's like subtracting 6 from both sides of an equation, but here I got to subtract 6 here, here, and here. And this is a kind of typical format that you would want to write your solution as. So now you're going to just simply add down in a column manner. So we have 12 minus 6, which of course is 6, and then 6 minus 6 is 0, and I'm left with negative 3x in the middle here, and then minus 3 plus negative 6 is negative 9. Okay, so this would be the first step here, but we're not done yet, right? Because we still need to solve for x, and I got this negative 3 coefficient in front of that term, and this is my mathematical warning symbol, right? So this is where the sirens and stuff are going off. You're like, alert, alert, focus, pay attention, because this is where a lot of students are going to make an error. Now, to get x by itself, what are we going to have to do? Well, what we're going to have to do is we're going to end up having to divide this by negative 3, okay? Now, anytime you're dealing with inequalities, if you have to divide an inequality by a negative value, okay, or if you have to multiply to solve or to get that variable by itself by a negative value, you need to be on alert, because what's going to happen is these inequality symbols are going to reverse, all right? So before you even take that step, you're like, okay, I'm almost there. I'm going to have to divide by a negative value here, right? Which is specifically negative 3. But I'm thinking to myself, when I write my answer, I'm going to have to flip these inequality symbols. I'm going to have to reverse them. And this is the step that a lot of students know to do this, but they forget to actually write that. Matter of fact, they're saying to themselves, okay, reverse that, and then they just don't actually write it. So, this is, kind of a result of just not being laser focused. When you're doing math, you have to be like ultra focused, because it's so easy to make a math error. I make math errors. I've been doing math for decades and decades, and I know better, but I actually will just write something. I didn't even realize I even wrote something down, because you have to kind of, have to constantly be at a high state of focus. Okay, and the best way to do that is when you write something down, double check your work. Or ask yourself, okay, almost like you're kind of grading your work as you go. You write a step, you write another step, and you go, you got to be a little bit paranoid. You're like, did I write that step right? Double check it, write that step, and then ask yourself, did I do that correct? Double check and kind of grade yourself as you go. Now, I know that's a lot of kind of side talk to this solution, but the whole point of this video is to help you prevent errors, right? And especially errors that kind of better not to make. Okay, so now to get x by itself, I know I'm going to have to divide by negative 3 here and here and here. And I'm thinking, okay, what I need to do now is I'm going to focus on reversing these inequality symbols. A lot of kind of things you need to focus on, right? So let's just kind of go through this one by one. So we have 6 divided by negative 3, that's negative 2. Now I've got my inequality symbol. I need to flip that. This is greater than or equal to. This becomes less than or equal to negative 3 divided by negative 3. That's x. And now I have my greater than or equal to. That's going to become less than or equal to negative 9 divided by negative 3, positive 3. So you can see here, how many things do we have to mentally check? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is where a lot of students, get in trouble, is they just lose focus, okay, just for even 1 microsecond, and you can easily make a mistake. Doesn't mean that you're a bad student or, you're not going to do well on your test, but, this happens, okay? It happens more frequently than you probably Think I see as a math teacher, you see everyone's work. Okay, you see the patterns, you see the trends. So that's why I make these videos and I kind of say, hey, be on alert when you're doing inequalities because this is something you're going to have to pay attention to. Okay, so here is the solution, and then you need to know how to graph those respective solutions when it comes to inequalities. We already kind of talked about this, but this particular problem, I would say, is in terms of a level of difficulty, maybe like a 5 out of 10 for those of you out there that are in a first year algebra course. There's certainly more challenging problems, and you need to understand compound inequalities. These are inequalities with the and statement and or statements. Things like this is a big topic in algebra. So again, if you need additional help, check out my links in the description below. But if this video helps you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, as that definitely will help me out. And again, I wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.